Hey, this is Shawn Powell. This is going to be talking about Power Lead systems directly. People who are in Power Lead systems, one of the biggest questions you're going to have is about buttons. How do you make a buttons? How do you change buttons? Things of that nature. And to really have very nice looking buttons that are very professional looking on your web pages. So, and I get asked that a lot for people who are trying, to figure out how this all works. Um, Here's some of the buttons that I've created. And yeah, I can tell you every web page I have built, I would say in the last year has all come from one place that I create my own buttons at. And of course, you get it from different places, but I'm going to show you a very easy and simple way to get buttons, create them, and how to stay organized for the future also, so you don't get yourself in a bind. All right, excuse me. Let me show you where I go to. It's called the button, DA. You see it's already popped up here, thebuttonfactory.com. Okay, so click on that. All right, y'all. There's no jumping through hoops or anything. This is a great place to get your buttons and to make whatever you like. Again, this is where I've made these recently. It's where I made these right here. They work excellent. They're absolutely, they do the job. Um, I've made some funky looking buttons before. You can adjust the actual roundness, the shape of everything right here, and you get a chance to really take a look at it real quick. Let's see, Power Lead Systems is awesome. There you go. So literally, I could click that download and have a button. Only thing I really am doing right now is changing everything to make it look like however I want it to look. Okay, now let me show you something. Let's say that I built this and 6 months later I decided that I want to change the buttons, right? Now to let you know, there are a lot of different color combinations. You could use this, you could use this, and just like a lot of sites would do. So how do you stay organized? I don't want my buttons to almost look right. I want them to look right. So when you finish building your button, or whatever you want to use it for, I take a screenshot of it. So let me show you what mine looks like right here. Okay. Now I have got a high definition picture of exactly the button that I've used for my pages. And I keep that on me at all times. I have come back to this so many times, and you'll see how many times in just a few minutes, where I wanted to change this. I wanted to try this instead of maybe, I would put 7-day trial instead of enroll now, or, just try different things just to see, if it helps, along the way. So that's one thing I do. Also, it lets me see what color combination I had from here to here for the text. Lets me know how thick I made it, as far as everything, so it looks just like this. I had the bubble effect, the border at 2. I left this as a default color right here. This is the border itself that goes around the edge, and this is the corners radius. Ironically, they've changed something where it doesn't say rounded box anymore, but it doesn't matter as long as I've got the same number. That's all that really matters. And so everything else is basically that. But without this page, it makes it really hard for me to duplicate those exact same buttons. Because even though when I'm building it here, the slightest shade of gray difference stands out so much when you got other buttons around it, where these two are, just one little shade different, it does make a difference. So I would highly suggest when you go there and you play around and you get the buttons like you wanted, that's great. But I would suggest taking a screenshot of it, of the entire page, so you have something to work on, okay, or something to work by. But I love the fact you don't have to sign up to anything. All you got to do is just go here, mash some buttons, and start playing around. I think this was at 13 a few minutes ago. Let's go to here. This is yellow on the top. Let's go orange on the bottom. That's a little bright, ain't it? Let's go here, here. Good enough. Border, 2. And I mean, you see, it doesn't take a lot. It's just a matter of when you're done to make sure you have, what you were looking for. when it's all said and done. And this is bold. I don't think mine was bold. So there you go. I mean, it's not exactly right. I know this ain't the colors that's right, but you get the idea. You can also put in shadows, shadow effects. I've used the shadow effects on some of the things I've done, but for this page here, I didn't really want it because of the clarity behind it. If this was on a solid white page or something of that nature, I probably would have a shadow behind it. It's no big deal. Okay, so it's incredible what you can do with this. I used to use these buttons up here for a specific one thing. Then I'd go down here for another one because it looked like it got really busy with a whole bunch of the same colors. So if I changed the colors up, it really helped it out. I've used this before where I had a lot of training videos, and in the training section itself, I would have them in red, this one in yellow, this one in blue, and it's just a good way to stay organized. Okay, so I don't spend no more time on that. Just go ahead and get started. Okay, y'all. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to copy a page because I use share codes and people are using them, and I'm not going to mess that up. So if you don't know how to actually copy a page, you'll be able to learn that too, how to do that. You're going to go to my page, obviously websites, web pages, my web pages, and I'm going to go down to, this is my newest share code I just made. And let's see here, this is my personal, let's see here. We'll copy this one. That'll be fun. So this is my sales page one, the one I just showed you. So I literally just mash copy. You can rename it to whatever you want. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not even going to do anything here because it's just for the button I'll be adding to it. Okay, so I'm going to go to put this right here in the middle. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to put the button right here. Now, I'm going to tell you something, y'all. This will help you out a lot. If you see this little blue light blinking right here, what that actually indicates is I'm still connected to this. It's a link that it's actually connected me with, and you do not want to be linked to a link. Okay? All right, so here we go. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to mash image. Obviously, we got to find it. You go under Browse Server, Custom Library, Generic Library, and then My Library. I only deal with my library. If there's a button I want, I'd make it. If there's a page or picture I want, whatever added to it, that's what I do. You could go to settings if you like. If you're working on a lot of content at this moment, then you could go to by date, and it's going to set up the newest things that you're working on, so you got to constantly look for everything. I usually do set that by date, but this will be fine as to serve for the example here. You see a bunch of buttons, y'all. There is a bunch of them up here, a bunch of different things I've used for my websites I create. And let's see here. Instead of get your sales page, let's put set up your sales page. Okay. 67 is the height. I know that's the number that I had set prior, so that it's correct. The 503 part, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I think that's going to be fine. I am going to put, let's see here, I got a link in here. No. So I'm going to go to, I'll tell you what, I will set this to new window. Okay. And then put OK. There we go. I don't think it's going to be connected. I'll be able to find out in just a second when I test it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want this to go to the setup page, and this is real important. Some of y'all may have never used this before. This is for a share code, right? For a share code, I would do this. Go to variables on your web page. Go to this one right here. This is linked to a web page itself. You'll scroll down and you will find Power Lead Systems. Alrighty, I am scrolling. Power Lead System Sales page. This is going to be illustration. It's going to be number 3. Okay, and just hit create. If you notice it has the words in here, I'm not using that one. I'm not using email. I'm using web page right here. It says good for buttons, and that's absolutely what it's for. So I'm going to copy right here. All right. You can leave this page up if you like, just in case you need to do that for whatever reason. Let me see here. We're going to go to, I click on this. I go to link. I type this in or copy and paste. I set this because that's set into here. This is not a web page. It's not an HTTP. It is other because this is a share code. It's going to be a little bit different, okay? Target is going to be not set. Not set makes it automatically as a default. It means that if you click it, whatever page they were on, it's going to show up on that, for that tab. So I personally, because I like for them to have the opportunity to come back to it. If they messed the wrong button or something's going to throw everything off, I'd rather have a new window. This is exactly what I put. So I'm going to put up new window. I'm going to go back to link info. I'm going to mash OK. And that's going to be it. I didn't see, if there's a blue line connecting from here to here, you've messed up. And it happens sometimes just because when I click beside it or something, if I ain't careful, it'll be connected. What you'll have to do is get it away from that blue line and then do it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just so you let you know what's happening. What happens is it bleeds the two links together if you're not careful. So if I click this, this would work, yes. But two things take place. Number one, when you run your pointer over it, it's not going to change. When it goes from this to this, it won't do that on the normal page. Secondly, it's going to take this button here and make them connect together. So even though if I mash this and it takes me where it's supposed to, it won't let this one go where it's supposed to. So that's exactly what I'm saying. Make sure it's not connected. Okay, so I've done that. I've added it. I've mashed save. And I'm going to go to view my page. All right, let me turn the video off here in just a second. Webinars every Wednesday and every Thursday hangout. Okay, now what I'm going to do is you see that works. That's real important to me. I don't like the fact that when you got a button that doesn't do that. So it is worth the time, in my opinion, to do it because it makes you question whether or not it's really a button. It might be just something on the page or something like. And you see how this is right here. Just to let you know, I can also take this and do the exact same thing. I used to take this and would put it in for, let's say, Action Taker Success Group is my Facebook group, and I wanted to promote Action Takers there. So they could literally click right here and take you straight to Action Takers. So I'm capable of doing that pretty easily as well, just to let you know. Okay, so let's click here and see where it takes us. Right where it's supposed to go. I did also I want you to know right from the beginning, never assume that anything works. I do want to click this. Yep. I want to click this, make sure she's not connected to anything. And I want to connect this. Click this. There you go. Workshop, but it is real simple, y'all. I personally think that the Button Factory does a really good job. There are other companies that you could go through that do some funky things that when you go across it, this changes colors, it lights up, it looks a lot like this. I literally could make this into buttons if I like, which are just banners, to be honest, that I created. I could turn those into buttons or something of that nature if I like. So that's basically what they're doing. The only problem with this, y'all, is if you get into the too fancy of buttons, sometimes they won't work because the limitations on mobile devices. So you don't want that to happen. Another good example of limitations is when you have let's say if you have a video and the background itself is the video and you have your writing right here, a lot of mobile devices are not going to play this. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, a lot of times, even though there's a lot of cool things out there, if you ain't careful, you will limit yourself to actually getting seen and they won't see a beautiful page. So my suggestion, sometimes simplicity works better. So I think just having, some good pretty buttons does the trick. Let me see, is there any other things I need to tell you about the buttons? I don't think so, not really. It's really, really simple. I will show you something though. Let's say if I want to swap this button out real quick, right? Y'all, you get really comfortable with this stuff. It does not take long at all. Let's go to, I'll say that I wanted that button right here. So let's go to get your sales page. Let's say delete. I'm gonna cut that bad boy out of here. Okay. Now I'm gonna take this. See if I can't just drag and drop. Alrighty. And I know everything should be set in place. It's going to the same place. Let's click here and just take a look at it. There you go. That's the same page number. I remember the number. And let's see if the target is new window. And right, she's good to go. She should be. But again, we're never going to assume. I want to make sure it's not linked to, to the other pages or something crazy like that. So I'm going to click right here. All right, let this page stop and make me succeed so much. Okay, so I'm checking here, checking here. There you go. There you go. And I'm gonna click this. Now I did also I want you to know right from the get-go, so she's running good. Again, that's mostly what I do now is I have everything set up. I get out to people and then I ask myself, maybe I need to simplify it more. What do I need to do to simplify things that they understand what they need to do? You don't want people jumping through any more hoops than you absolutely have to. Another just a big tip for y'all. Instead of having a page after page after page, nobody likes to have this really long video, but I'd rather have one 24-minute video that gets seen a lot, 8,836 times, as opposed, now this is because I copied the other page, so you understand it's the other one, as opposed to them having to jump through 5-minute video to this video to this video to this video. I'd rather, just get their attention and hold it, tell them what you need to tell them, get the bullet points out, as opposed to then going from there. Then, the reason I have this right here, y'all, is for simplicity. I have learned you have got to tell people and tell people and tell people what you want them to do. It's a call to action that takes place on the page itself. You want to try to make it clean as possible, but just to get the point across. So I decided, and see this number, it should actually have a number here. So if I was going to keep this here, I would put a number, number 2 right here to keep it in place. And then, let's see what it says right here. Go gold, diamond, platinum. Get your sales page funnel. This is number 2. Number 3 is join Action Taker Success Group. That's connected with us right here. And I could put this where they could click that and it would help them, take them straight to it. Start now and get the advantage. This is Action Takers. It's that simple to me. Enroll now for 7-day trial. That was the button I was thinking about possibly putting up here for this for Power Lead Systems. But I think all in all, it just has a nicer, cleaner look with the word Power Lead Systems up there. So that's what I went with. Again, you also want to make sure that the button, like I said, the layers, if you ain't careful, I would assume that that's about correct. And when it's all said and done, I would have popped in here and this would have been a shade darker or lighter, and it will stand out like a sore thumb. You wouldn't think it would be that much from there, but when you put them all three together, yeah, it does make a difference. Okay, y'all, that's about all I got to say as far as the buttons. I would highly suggest, don't be intimidated or scared to go get your own buttons. It's real simple to do. I could probably hold my breath and put a button together and put it in place, and it worked correctly in that amount of time. It just does not take any time at all. If you're not in Power Lead Systems, y'all, go ahead and click the link down below. You need to go ahead and get this. This has been incredible way for me to get out and to get seen and to brand myself into any business. Not only do I get paid every Wednesday like clockwork with Power Lead Systems, a rock solid business I'm pure excited about. You know, it's not just for that. If I didn't get paid $1 in Power Lead Systems, you can sign me up for the next 5 years when it comes to, for my primary businesses, because that's how I get to make these pages, y'all. And they can make a huge difference. I guess I don't have, no, it's not really a landing page. So I'm give you an example of one of my landing pages, but I guess I don't have one up here. It don't matter. Y'all, just take this seriously. Go ahead and sign up to Power Lead Systems. You want to go gold, diamond, platinum. Take the time to watch this presentation, y'all. I show you my own proof of income, tell you exactly what I think and exactly how I do it. And when you're done, y'all, get everything set up, you're going to have an awesome share code that's going to do the work for you. And the webinars for Wednesday night is 10 p.m. Thursday nights 10 p.m. on the East Coast. You get to connect directly to them with the Facebook, what do you call it? Facebook chat, I guess, whatever you like to call it. You don't even have to be part of Facebook. You could go down as like a universal, you don't have to log it like this one right here or something like that, and be able to comment as well. It's just a great way to have your downline connecting to people while they're watching the webinar. When it's not there, it's still recorded. So just because it's not live, you can still watch it anytime before or after as well. There's always a video in place. And it is so important that I wanted to put it in my sales funnel, and it's right in the front just so to have access to this. Okay, so take this seriously, y'all. Go ahead and hit the link down below, sign up, and go ahead and friend me on Facebook. Get in my Facebook group, Action Taker Success Group. You're really going to love this business and really get to see a lot of people that really love what we do. I appreciate it.